boys here, and you know, he got a big boy in front of him tonight. So, oof, good answer right there. Oh, he dropped him. He's out. Morrow, Al Morrow with the knockout win in the first round.
What an unbelievable turn of events. In a split second, Al Morrow scores the victory on the road against Hassan Graham. And just like that, in a flash, a big victory.
Al, the Postmaster Morrow.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source of combat sports. I'm your host, Al, the Postmaster Morrow, and if you can't tell by the title of the video above, if you haven't been following my social media pages or kept in touch with me, I won my second professional mixed martial arts fight the other night. It was a great experience. I wanted to make this video kind of just give an update on, I guess, me and the channel, because I've been very, hit or miss over the last couple months, because basically I've been so focused on getting ready for this fight, and the end of 2023 was just so crazy for me. Guys, 8,000 subscribers a week ago. We hit about a week or two ago now. We hit 8,000 subscribers. We're already at 8.15. So 150 more people have joined on to 8,000 already, and it just keeps getting the fastest 1,000 we've ever got. So let's get to 9 and then eventually 10. I can't believe we're getting to that point, guys. It is all because of you. So if you're brand new to the channel, thanks for coming along, and I hope you stick around for the ride. I really appreciate all of you. And if you've been there since day one, I appreciate you so much for always being around. And then, of course, even if you've been around for a little while, I still appreciate you. Without you guys, this channel would not exist. Basically, guys, I wanted to make this video just to kind of talk about the channel, talk about my fight, talk about the lead up to the fight, how the fight went, and how I feel now and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm pretty good. I got one slight little mark right up here, some mitt burn, because I bruise super easy in the face. I have some time off. I don't think I'm going to fight until May now. That's probably going to be, it's going to be February, May, then possibly September is what we're thinking, August, September. Meantime, I'm going to really hit the channel hard. I'm going to try and release at least 2 videos a week, because that is just a nice, comfortable pace. Because, guys, I'm still very busy. Although I'm not fighting, I'm still going to go to the gym at least 2 or 3 days a week in the morning and do my strength and conditioning. And I'm still going to be at the gym at least 5 or 6 days a week as far as MMA training goes, because for a professional, you can't ever stop. I fought for CES, one of the biggest promotions outside the UFC, biggest in New England, arguably biggest in New England. There's Reality Fighting, a Combat Zone. Reality Fighting is owned by the same people as Naga, and then actually Calvin Cater owns Combat Zone, and this time was at the Foxwoods Casino, which turns out, I think they said was the biggest casino in the United States, or now it's the second biggest. It was huge. You would drive in, I thought the Mohegan Sun was big, but oh my God, the Foxwood was massive. Technically 4 different casinos under one roof, basically, and it was huge. It was like walking through a small indoor city. It was so crazy. We fought a guy by the name of Hassan Graham, and I was really excited to fight this guy for a while. At the same time, scared. It was a healthy fear. You gotta have that healthy fear whenever you fight somebody. I wanted to fight Hassan since we were amateurs, because we would go back and forth for #1 in the Northeast. I was a #1 in heavyweight in New York. He was a #1 heavyweight in Massachusetts. And we would go back and forth from #1 in the Northeast. I'd win one, I was #1, he'd win one, he was #1. So we traded back and forth until I went to pro, basically. He actually fought 3 times as a pro in 1 year. I only fought once. If you followed one of my other videos, you basically know that a lot of stuff happened in 2023 between me, my coach's life, my family's lives. A lot of things happened to where it just basically, I needed to be in other places. I wanted to fight Hassan because we were supposed to fight as amateurs, and it fell apart. And he was 2-1 as a pro, and it was just good timing, I guess. We were supposed to, his coach even said after the fight, well, I kind of figured you guys would fight later down the line as pros, you know, maybe by your 4th or 5th fight, but not immediately. Because I'm 1-0, I was at the time 1-0, now I'm 2-0, and he was 2-1. And really, he had knocked everyone he had fought from amateur to pro out dead. Because he didn't lose as an amateur. He had 1 pro loss. At the PFL Challenger Series, actually. He knocked out his first opponent, then he fought PFL Challenger Series against a really tough guy. Basically, for the lead up of this fight, we were thinking that's what we were going to do. My coach basically told me, listen, you wrestled in high school, you wrestled in college, and although you didn't do too good in those aspects, you understand what to do. You coach at the gym and you're able to teach wrestling. You just never really implement it, because whenever you tried wrestling, you failed at it, basically. Because I would tell myself I sucked at wrestling for so long, and it wasn't until really the last month my coach is like, you need to believe in your wrestling. So really for a whole month, that's all it was just learning to wrestle properly. My MMA coach taught me how to learn how to wrestle properly, especially like the week before the fight. Everything finally just meshed together and I was able to chain things together and do things. And I figured this is exactly how we're going to beat the guy. I asked my coach, obviously, about striking, or we're going to try and stand and trade with the guy. And he said, you know, why try and stand and trade when we can take him out of his element, basically, you know, because all he would do is basically go in, land something that looked like it barely hit someone, and they go to sleep. And we're like, uh-oh. I've never been dropped. I've never been knocked out before. I've never been separated from consciousness against my will, unless it was like surgery or something. And I didn't really want to start that. I'm sure in heavyweight, it's going to happen one of these days. It's bound to happen in our weight class, but I really didn't want that to happen. And I never really wanted to happen. The prospect kind of freaks me out. Fight week was really, really simple. We just basically did a couple last conditionings, which were hell. And I knew I was in much better shape. I usually am for a heavyweight in much better shape. And I'm usually a lot faster than a lot of heavyweights. And it's because I'm shorter. I'm only about 5'11", 6 foot. My doctor says 6 foot. I don't believe him. But I also grew up in like the Catskill, New York area. And my boxing coach actually trained with like Floyd Patterson, Jose Torres. So I learned a modified version of the peekaboo style, which basically when I boxed as an amateur was what I did. I never really did exactly the same thing as those guys did. I usually used it for my own and my boxing ability. I knew I hit hard, and my coach even told me leading into this fight, he told me, he's like, don't be shocked if you hit harder than this guy because you've put people out too. Day of weigh-ins comes around. We'll just skip ahead there. The Foxwoods was really cool. The hotel was nice. We did the weigh-ins around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got to meet Hassan for the first time in person. And I got to shake his hand and say, can't wait to compete against you. I saw that he had a newborn with him. He said that she was 3 months old. He or she was 3 months old. Met his family briefly, just waved to everyone and said, you know, like, I basically said, you know, I know that we're going to go and try and kill each other tomorrow, but it's nice to meet you, you know, because I always try and show my opponents the respect that I hope they have for me. And we did the weigh-ins, the stare downs, and everyone kind of laughed at me because I was just smiling. I always smile at my weigh-ins. I tried the intense thing once or twice, and it's just not me. It's not my thing. I felt like I was putting on an act when I did that, and I just like to be myself. So I just smile, and I could see he was trying to deadpan me, and I think he was trying to scare me, kind of with my eyes to his eyes, saying, you can look all scary and intimidating, you're not scaring me, you know, is basically what I was trying to say. And I kind of laughed out loud. I actually got him to crack a smile, and I said, lighten up, dude, you know, and stuff like that. And that was about that, you know, like, you know, we're going to punch each other. It's not that serious or something like that, I said. Well, the night before, we had a nice dinner with my coach and my teammate. We went out to Hell's Kitchen, which was really cool, although I was sad a lot of the time at that dinner because my wife and I really love the Hell's Kitchen series. I've been watching Hell's Kitchen since I was younger. I'm a big Gordon Ramsay fan, so it was super cool to go, but it also sucked that I wasn't able to share that experience with my wife. I wish I could have. So I promised her that we're going to go down to a Hell's Kitchen, whether it be Foxwoods or New York, one of these times, you know, maybe for our next fight. It all moved so quick. The day, you know, I woke up around maybe noon. I slept in a bit, maybe 11 o'clock, noon, hung out with my coaches, ate once or twice throughout the day, walked around the mall and the Foxwood just to get my mind off the fight a little bit. You know, sometimes you get anxious and you're like, oh my God, like, you have to wait from 12 noon basically till 9 p.m. when your fight's supposed to be on, and you're supposed to be in the back by 7:30. So you have to wait a long time. So I was definitely nervous, and you know, like I said, I had seen him put people's lights entirely out cold. So I was like, that could very well be me. You know, I was thinking about it, and basically instead of worrying about what he did, I was worrying, how do I avoid that? You know, like, I just gotta keep moving my head. I gotta be on the outside, or I gotta be in his grill, either one, because I don't have as long as a reach as he does. I think he has like an 80-inch reach. I have a 67 or 68-inch reach, which is a very short heavyweight wingspan. But going to the cage, and I, you know, did my walkout and everything, and I had a calm about it, you know, at this time. I was nervous, you know, I was looking around, seeing all the people, letting them kind of, you know, get in. I heard my coach say, hey, focus up or something like that. And that's when the switch flipped, you know. I was just, I have to take this guy out. And so he got in the cage. I'm staring him down. He's staring me down. He's deadpanning me. I'm looking at him like I want to rip his head off his shoulders and throw it 20 feet. Touch gloves. First thing I did is crush his leg with a kick because my coach said he's very heavy on his front leg. We should do calf kicks. And for whatever reason, I just saw the way he was, and I didn't want to kick so low, and I kicked his thigh. I got his leg off the floor for a second. He threw a right-hand counter to it, but I kind of slipped when I kicked it, so it kind of went by my head, and I also had my hand here to catch it a little bit. We circled a bit. He tried a couple jabs. I tried a couple punches, and then he just started doing like a big flurry. He started really swinging at me, And what I did was I stuck a jab, I got a clinch, and I went body, head with an uppercut. And I knew they landed, and I knew he didn't like it because I could feel him immediately trying to break the grip. So I let him break the grip. I tried to throw an uppercut, missed on the way out, and I saw the right hand coming clear as day. So I did a slip and a shift, and I went out, and then I nailed him. Instead of going up again, I nailed him with over, and I saw his head go whoa. And I thought, I think that hurt him. I don't know. But you know what? I got to mix it up with this guy. I can't stand in front of him like this. So I just tied up with him. And I was like, whoa, he's way stronger and knows balance a lot better than we thought he was going to. And he actually kind of maneuvered me around a bit. I was just so shocked how good he knew his positional awareness. The broadcast, after I watched it, said something along the lines of he was a Division I starter for UMass for football, and I had no idea. So he had really good, I don't watch football, but my coach said if he had linebacker experience, he has a really good idea of his center of gravity. And he was a 1 or 2 time state champion for Massachusetts in wrestling, which I couldn't believe. I was like, really? And, you know, because in his fight that he lost, he really didn't show a lot of his wrestling. I was definitely surprised, and because it took me by surprise, I did what my coach calls paralysis by analysis. I just started saying, okay, what's my next step? So he has me against the fence, and I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm just being smart. He's trying to nail me with these like tiny little punches on the side of my head. I basically said, I got to get him against the fence, and I got to try a double leg or something. He separates himself. I think I heard his coaches say that, and the first thing I did was I tried to throw an uppercut, which missed again. I'm like, damn it, you know, that's 2 or 3 uppercuts I missed. I can't believe I missed that many on this. And I just stood in front of him for a second to see what his range really was. And he stuck a jab that missed. I stuck like a lazy jab just to kind of get him. And then he hit me with one like right on the mouth, and I actually got a little bit. He actually did split my lip a little bit. And then he got me with another one in the same exact spot. And I sat there, I said, damn it. And I shot a jab at him. And it was a quick, fast, hard jab. And I saw him stumble back. And I said, I think that jab hurt him. I don't know. I basically just faked the jab, went down, went for the double leg. And I felt his body go over, but then the fence immediately caught him. And I made another grave error in that I stopped. Instead of I stopped the double leg, and then instead of going for a single or trying to elevate whatever it was, I just basically stuck at the double leg for a second. And then I came up into a body lock again. I slipped on the canvas or something. He like turned, and then I slipped myself back up. He tried hammering me with a couple shots. I just did this when I was getting up, and so nothing really landed. And then I knew he was going to try and uncork when I got up, so I just shelled like this when he got up. And then I just put my hands down to look at him. I was doing this. And I said, I'm really messing up here. And I circled, tried to kick him again. He countered me with like a body shot. And like the body shots didn't bother me whatsoever. I definitely felt that he had heavy hands. Don't get me wrong. I definitely felt if I took 1 or 2 more than I should have, I'd be taking a stroll down memory lane if I wasn't careful. But it wasn't anything that I hadn't felt. It was like circling in mid-circle. He kicked me. I almost said it, sorry, I get frustrated. My leg came off the ground and I got angry. I was like, will you stop pussyfooting around this guy and do what you're trained to do? You're better than this guy is what I'm thinking in the back of my head. I'm going to go jab, hook, and see what that does. So I stuck the jab, the hook kind of missed, and then I said, here we go. I'm going to go for a right hand into a takedown. The right hand, and I went to shove him so I could kind of get the leg up for the single leg. And when I went to go shove him, I just started falling down. I had no idea what happened, and I felt something hit the top of my head. And then when we land on the ground, I see he's out. I hit him twice because you never know if he's out or if he's out, and I wasn't sure he was out, which is why I feel bad about the last 2 shots. And then I immediately pointed to my head because I thought, am I going to get disqualified? Did I lead with my head? Is that what knocked him out? And Keith Peterson came up to me and said, you know, and in a straggly voice too, I love that guy. Super cool guy. He goes like, he said, your head didn't land. You knocked him out with the right hand, and then his head actually landed on yours on his way down. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And he basically said the same thing. He's like, it looked like you were trying to go for a takedown, but he was falling, and you fell right on top of him. And I said, that's basically exactly what happened, because I went to go, you know, put my head in for a single. I shoved him. I went to go put my head in for the single, you know, underneath his head and right on his chest so I could tilt him up and, you know, rock the leg back and just get him down, elevate it. and he was going down, so I had to go down with him, and I knocked him out. And I was like, oh my God, you know, thank God it landed that way. It wasn't intended to land that way. Granted, I was throwing every punch with the intent to get him out of there, but I was shocked he got him out of there because he had taken a couple of my punches, including the same punch earlier in the fight. Fine. He was throwing so wild and so wide. I think that's just what's worked for him before, that he's never fought someone like me. I have over 70 boxing matches and amateurs, and striking's my go-to. You know, I have a lot of kickboxing experience too. I caught him right on the ear, and once you hit the ear enough, it just shuts your whole body off. All the nerves and stuff behind the ear that kind of connect to your neck tell your brain we need to stop. You know, instead of going for the jaw, stuff like that, I usually aim for the ear because it just takes your equilibrium away. But yeah, overall, it was a really cool experience fighting for CES. I can't tell you how much of a professionally run tight ship they are. I know Hassan's good now. He got a CT scan after the fight, said he's all good. He already sent me a message saying we will meet again, which I have no doubts down the line. You know, I saw some people chirping for a rematch, which I hope I don't sound arrogant by saying it. I don't see a point in an immediate rematch. However, I have not really said no to many fights. So if that winds up happening, it winds up happening. There's a couple guys in the Northeast that are really talented, just like Hassan. They are dangerous in their own right. So we're definitely going to have to look into that and see what's coming next for me. If you want to watch the video in its entirety, I'll post a link in the description below. My dad posted a YouTube video on it. But I just wanted to make this video kind of talk about the fight and what was going on. So with that said, I thank you so much. And as always, I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.